Hey book lovers, Victoria here and you're watching My Books Me. Today I'm bringing you my first quarterly wrap-up of 2019. Original plan was to do monthly wrap-ups, like go back to doing that because last year I wasn't doing that. But I've not read many books this year, so it's equated to one a month. Kind of a bit redundant to do a wrap-up video for one book. That's essentially a book review. So I've decided to do quarterly updates, at least for the time being, until I get my butt back into reading and can actually get a few books a month read. I've actually also just posted a quarterly wrap-up over on my blog, which has all the books I've read, the blog posts I've done, the videos I've posted, and general wrap-ups for everything. So go check that out if you're interested. So let's just dive into my 3-book quarterly wrap-up for 2019. So the first book is You're Still the One by Rachel Harris. This is the first book in the Country Blues series. However, it's a companion novel series, and I don't think the next book directly follows characters that we were introduced to in the first one. I can't remember how it went. I've not looked really into the second book. But this was really good. Really great way to start the year, and also a really great book to start off my journey into Rachel's work. I've never read any of her stuff before, and this was a really great starting point. In this book we follow Arabella, who is the daughter of one of Nashville's biggest recording label owners, and she's kind of, you know, like going to inherit that. So she's grown up in this industry, but she's still, I don't want to say very sheltered from the industry, but she kind of, between her and her father, she kind of takes a back seat because her father knows just how kind of big and dangerous the industry can be, especially to young women. But she's developed an interest in also music recording and things like that. So she decides to take up a summer internship in New Orleans using her mother's maiden name in order to kind of make a name for herself. And she's really excited to be leaving Nashville for the summer and being on her own, away from her father and away from his part of the industry, and kind of just to finally live a little. She's been very sheltered and very kind of staying in her bubble, so she's excited to get out of her comfort zone, and she makes a summer bucket list. And number 1 on that bucket list is to flirt with Charlie Tucker, one of Nashville's biggest country music singers, whom she has known for a good chunk of her life because he is represented by her father. And they've met several times but never really like hung out or connected or anything like that. So the weekend before she goes to New Orleans, they bump into each other at a bar essentially. Like, she's kind of stalking, waiting for him to get there. Not the point though. And he actually doesn't recognize who she is, so she kind of takes that as a bit of encouragement to actually flirt with him and get this thing off her list. And she actually takes it one step further by kissing him and thinking that if they ever bump into each other at an event in the future and he does actually recognize her and who she actually is, well, they can just deal with it then. Like, she's not going to see him for a while, so she can just kiss and run kind of thing. Of course, this kiss is played on Charlie's mind, but he's just gonna put that aside because he happens to be heading to New Orleans as well, because he has a job running a recording studio. So Arabella gets to New Orleans, really excited to start her new life in a town where no one knows who she is, until she realizes that Charlie is now her new boss. He kind of takes her under his wing and decides to help her get through her summer bucket list, and of course sparks begin to fly. It's a really cute and sweet novel. Really fun to read. I really enjoyed it. There was also a really beautiful subplot of Charlie creating a foundation to help people with depression express themselves and understand their feelings through music, and that was a really nice balance. The book would have been fine if it didn't include that, but it was a really nice balance to the emotional roller coaster that was Arabella and Charlie's relationship. I really liked it. I kind of really need to continue the series to see if they do feature in more books. But yeah, it was a really great start to the year and a really great start to Rachel's books. I think I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read my first 2019 release, and that was Catastrophe Queen by Emma Hart. You guys know by now how much I love Emma's books. I cannot get enough of her stuff, and she keeps bringing out really great books every few months. Like, oh, so good. And this was such a fun novel. I ended up giving this 4 out of 5 stars. We follow Mallory, who's had to move back in with her parents after a fire in her apartment building, which she may or may not have started. And living back with her parents has kind of taken a toll on all of them, because she's come home from work one too many times to find them having sex somewhere in the house that isn't their bedroom. And she actually ends up losing her job because the company closes down. So she's on the hunt for a new job so she can save some money so she can move out and everyone can get back to their normal lives. So she has an interview for Reed's Real Estate. It goes really, really well. She's really confident she's going to get it. And afterwards, she goes and gets a coffee and isn't paying attention when she goes out into the street and is about to cross the road. She's almost hit by a car, and this really gorgeous guy gets out to see if she's all right. Everything's okay. It's a little bit awkward because he ends up seeing her underwear. But that's alright. We don't need to worry about strangers you meet on the street, except Mallory does, because this stranger just happens to be her new boss. She is now the secretary / personal assistant of Cameron Reed, and their relationship is obviously a little bit weird to start off with, given how they've previously met one another. But Mallory, despite being a really big klutz and catastrophe queen, or Hurricane Mallory as Cameron ends up calling her, is a whiz at her job, and these two just have really great banter, a little bit of flirting. His mum kind of gets involved and invites her to this really schmancy party, and you know, sparks are flying. It's really cute. I really friggin' liked it. Emma's just really great at writing rom-coms, and this was a really, really fun book. I then followed that up with Emma's newest release, which came out just this past week, which was The Roommate Agreement. It was so good. I gave this one 4.5 out of 5 stars. I think it's my favorite Emma Hart book, at least until the next one comes out. It was so friggin' fun. We follow Shelby and Jay, who've been BFFs for like ever since the 4th grade, and 3 months prior, Jay rocked up on Shelby's doorstep saying he needed a place to stay because his apartment building is getting sold the next day and he'd be homeless. Obviously, Shelby can't say no to her best friend, but she also can't say no to the fact that Jay will be providing rent money, and she kind of needs it. Shelby is a writer who does freelance and ghostwriting while also trying to write her own stories. So she's, you know, a struggling artistic type and wouldn't say no to the extra rent money. Jay assures her it's only going to be temporary, but 3 months on, he's still there with sort of no prospects of moving out, so it seems to be a very permanent move now. And when Jay eats Shelby's Oreos for the final time, she decides to draw up a roommate agreement in order to make their permanent living situation just a little bit easier on them. In particular, that they both wear appropriate clothes around the apartment. Jay can finally use the vacuum and washing machine, and that Shelby labels her Oreos. Like, there's a whole bunch of rules. It is so fun. What neither mention to one another, of course, is that they've started to develop feelings for one another since moving in together. So they kind of hope that some of these rules will help them control their feelings and kind of get over this little crush they're having. But one night Shelby drinks a little bit too much and kind of lets slip how she's feeling, and it kind of throws them into this really unknown territory of will they or won't they? Do they want to ruin their friendship or pursue a relationship? It's so friggin' cute. I've really come to love Emma's besties to lovers stories. She's written them really well, and even though she's written a few of them, they're always very different for each couple, and I really, really like that. I just thought this book was fun, hilarious, full of really great banter, full of also really flirty banter moments. It was just, I friggin' loved it. I also really liked Shelby and Jay's friends, Bree and I want to say Cameron again. Sean? Yeah, anyway, they have 2 best friends who are also a couple, and they have like a really great, all the 4 of them have a really great connection, and I really liked reading about the other 2 as well. I kind of hope that Emma will write a book about them. I don't know how she would do that. Maybe it'd have to be like before everything. I don't know, but I just really liked reading about all of these characters. A really, really fun book. I really liked the epilogue in this one as well. Emma's really good at always including epilogues for like, you know, a year or something down the track, and it was just a really, really fun epilogue that I really, really liked and wish we had more. So yeah, just such a good book. All 3 books that I read for this year so far have been really, really good. If you like contemporaries and romances, definitely check them out. I'll link below to my written reviews for all of them, because I'm sure that I've forgotten something or haven't explained them as well as I probably could have. But anyway, if you've read any of these books, let me know your thoughts on them, and also please let me know which Rachel Harris book to read next, because she's got quite a few and I don't know which one to pick, so let me know. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up, and I'll see you guys soon with another video. Bye!